What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Marley coming to you with another video. Here to give my review and spoiler talk for the brand new Marvel Studios movie, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, before we get into it, if y'all could please leave a like and subscribe, that would mean an awful lot to me so I can continue making these videos for y'all. And I very much appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Let's get into it. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Wow, what a movie and ride this was. First off, this was a Sam Raimi movie at first. I'm really surprised that Marvel gave like the whole creative control to Sam Raimi to do this film. And honestly, it was perfect. This was like a perfect match made in heaven. This has Sam Raimi written all over it. I mean, from his visuals to the camera work to the suspense, the thrills, the horror, everything. And it also has his buddy Danny Elfman's score, which was really dark and ominous, and it was just perfectly crafted together. Like, this was truly an artistic film. This movie is so damn simple. Like, it's basically Terminator, because the villain is after our heroes throughout the whole movie. And what I mean by that is that Wanda is after America Chavez, who was being protected by Stephen Strange because she's trying to find her kids. And that's basically the story. And like I said, it's so simple. So the simpler it is, the more creative Sam Raimi got in what he brought and like all these elements into this movie to make it so creative. First off, I gotta give credits to all the actors portraying these characters in this movie. But the main person who I think stole the show, and I think a majority of people agree, is Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch. Wow, she acted the shit out of that character. And if I talk about Doctor Strange, it'll be after, because, my God, Elizabeth Olsen, I mean, if she were to be nominated for an Oscar, I really hope and pray that she gets it, because she truly does deserve it. She was so menacing. She was so intimidating. She was so creepy. Like, she was just out of this world, you know, just by her facial expressions. And like I said, just how she came across, she really embodies that character of Scarlet Witch. Benedict Cumberbatch was great as usual as Doctor Strange. In this one, he had a little bit more of an arc, and he plays it really well. We also had an introduction to a new character, America Chavez, and she was a great introduction. Her power set is really interesting and really fascinating. She was basically the plot device needed for Wanda to find her kids. So I really can't wait to see her more fleshed out in future Marvel projects. Quick thing about Wong, I just love that guy, man. He's just truly likable. I know he's a Sorcerer Supreme, and he carries it. He embodies it. He reads the manual about finding the Book of Ashanti, which we'll talk in a little bit. It starts off with America Chavez and Defender Strange. They're being chased after a demon, which, you know, we find out later in the movie that it's actually Wanda who's possessing these monsters to, you know, go after America Chavez. But the monster, it ends up killing Defender Strange. So she portals out, and they end up in our timeline, in Earth 616. And so we get a shot from the trailer where Steven wakes up and he's having a dream, and he believes it's a nightmare. That whole chasing with that toilet paper monster was honestly visually badass. Like, I think this movie would benefit really well in 3D. And just because, like, the color palette, like I said, the visuals, the camera work, like, everything just pops out. The CGI, yeah, it's a little bad in some areas, but like, it is not enough to take me out of the movie. Like, everything was just jaw-dropping and eye-popping, and it's Sam Raimi, so it's badass. So as I said, Stephen Strange wakes up, and he's actually on his way to Christine Palmer's wedding. Christine Palmer, you know, the love of his life, yeah, she's getting married to another dude. But we get a shot from the trailer where it's the squid monster Gargantos, I believe is the name, but I'm probably messing that up. But we'll just go with the squid, with the one-eyed squid. He comes and he's terrorizing the city. So Doctor Strange tries to see what the hell's going on, and he finds out that America Chavez is right in the middle of it. And basically, him and Wong defeat the monster. And with this defeat, it's kind of like the first, not the first introduction, because you know some Marvel movies have been brutal, but my God, was this movie violent and brutal. Doctor Strange ends up beating that monster by like getting a street light and impaling its eyes and then taking it out, and his whole eyeball just comes out. And it's pretty crazy too, because like everybody in the theater gasped, like, "Oh my God!" I thought it was pretty crazy, to be seen in a Marvel movie. But yeah, that was badass how that happened. America Chavez and Wong and Doctor Strange are in a diner, and they're basically getting some backstory on America Chavez about what's happening and how she can travel the multiverse physically. And so to find out what's going on, with the multiverse and why these demons are after America Chavez, Doctor Strange thinks, okay, well, I'm going to go talk to Wanda because Wanda has experience with that. Doctor Strange meets Wanda at her home, wherever it's at, and they briefly talk about like what's possibly going on and what Wanda knows about the multiverse. It's been shown in the trailers. She brings up Vision and how he had his theories, and Steven tells Wanda that they found this girl, that she's being chased through the multiverse, and if he could help out. And then Wanda actually calls her by name, and then Steven just like stops walking, and he realizes, and he tells her like, I didn't say her name. And so then Wanda turns the whole area wherever she's living at, instead of being beautiful and full of flowers and stuff, it's just like a burnt forest, and the background, the sky is all red. Wanda says that she's trying to get her to grab her powers because she's looking for her kids. And so Wanda sending those monsters after America is her being reasonable. And what I love about this transition, Wong comes into the forefront, and then like the background changes, and then they happen to be there at Kamar-Taj. Like, they could have just done it so lazy, where it just that scene would have ended with Wanda leaving Doctor Strange to then being at Kamar-Taj. But as I said, Sam Raimi, he's just a legend. He's just a master, and he's very creative. Just little things like that, and I'll speak more on that because there are more other little things that get me excited, and I just notice these things, and it makes me appreciate Sam Raimi and the vision of this movie more. So they're set to protect America Chavez, and Wanda arrives. And so they set up their barriers, but Wanda like tries to get into one of the person's minds, and she's able to do it. And this scene was just so chilling. Like, you hear the score in the background, right? But once it gets closer to that person that she selected, the music stops. And then she creeps up right behind him, and she goes to the side, and she just says, "Run." And then like he loses the power and the focus, and then he just ends up turning around and running. And then that's when the shield, goes down, and she's able to blast through and starts wreaking havoc on that whole sacred grounds. It was chilling for sure. Wanda gets through, and Stephen Strange is like, basically, you gotta go through me. And so she steps forward, and then he's able to trap her in some type of mirror dimension. It's like just like a smaller, more caged version of like the mirror dimension. And she's trying to figure out how to get out. And like I said, just the score, and even her just being trapped inside this mirror cage, she puts her fingers through like the mirror, and she's able to go through. And so then you cut back to where Wong and a few other people are, and America Chavez and Stephen Strange. And there are puddles all over the floor because obviously of the havoc that just happened. And she's able to go through the mirrors and like the dimension or whatever, and she's pulling these people through the reflections of the water. When she finds her way out and she comes out of one of those bells, she's able to come out, and she's coming out like a zombie. Like, she's like like coming all creepy. I'm like, damn, this is crazy, And so she's able to catch them. She knocks out Steven, she knocks out Wong, and she's about to get America, but then she summons like her little portal, and then Steven like spears her with the quickness, and they're able to escape. And then we get an awesome, amazing sequence where they're traveling the multiverse. Now, quick little thing. One thing that I didn't like, it could be a nitpick, is the title is called Multiverse of Madness. I wish they kind of would have doubled down on the Multiverse of Madness. And what I mean by that is I wish they would have had more time in a couple other multiverses, because as I keep talking about it, they only spend their time on one other one. And so yeah, like I said, Doctor Strange, he saves America, and like I said, there's just an amazing sweet sequence that it's actually a clip that was released by Marvel where they're just traveling different types of multiverses, and it's so visually stunning. The CGI, like, it's just amazing to look at. It's from the clip. It's probably like maybe like a minute or two longer, but yeah, they're just screaming right through it, and everything is changing around them. They're changing, and so yeah, like I said, it's visually amazing to look at. And then they exit into, I want to say like a dystopian New York, but it's like all flowers. It looks all peaceful. It looks all beautiful. And they spend their time, most of the time, right there, actually. They're walking, and that's when we see the first little cameo of Bruce Campbell, the legend Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi's buddy, who's basically in like every movie he's ever made. And yeah, it's a little funny cameo. America steals food, and she's like, "What? You guys have to pay for food here in your guys' universe? That's weird." They're walking by, and he's like, "Hey, you guys gotta pay for that." He was like, "That cape is, really authentic." And then he's getting all feisty with Doctor Strange. He's like, "Here, how about some mustard?" And he's about to spray mustard on him, but then Doctor Strange casts a spell and Bruce Campbell starts hitting himself, and then America Chavez is like, "How long is that going to last?" And he's like, "Oh, not till 3 weeks." So it's like, damn, 3 weeks of him just hitting himself. All right, man. Good luck to you. They're walking around, and they find another sanctum. And this one has a statue of Doctor Strange. And it says on the plaque, like, in loving memory, he died fighting Thanos, a hero. And so they're like wondering, well, if this Doctor Strange died, then who's running the sanctum? And then the door opens up, and then we find out it's Mordo. Mordo from the first Doctor Strange. Yes, he's back, and he's now Sorcerer Supreme, and he's running that sanctum. Mordo, America Chavez, and Doctor Strange are all talking about what's going on, how Wanda is after them, and how Wanda is able to send demons. Mordo tells them that this is the power of the Darkhold, and she's able to dream walk, where she's able to take possession of another human, or obviously like a monster from a different universe, and lets her do her doing in that universe. Doctor Strange, then vision starts getting blurry, and so does America, and finds out that he's been like poisoned. And so then they wake up in two cages, and they see Christine, and she mentions that she's working for the Baxter Foundation. And when I first heard that, I was like, Baxter Foundation, Fantastic Four right here. And so yeah, she's telling them what's going on, and how their universe, or the main Marvel universe, is Earth 616, and the one that they're in right now was eight. I'm not gonna even try to say the number, but it was 8 something. It was in the hundreds, 800s. I'll just leave it at that. Steven hasn't stopped thinking of her, so he asked her, like, what were we in this universe? And she just says, like, they never quite figured it out. And so, Steven's sad about that, because that's all he wants. He just wants her. But he just keeps messing it up. Then they're interrupted by Mordo, and he's like, "The Illuminati will see you now." And I was like, oh shit, it's gonna get spicy. And so, yes, he walks up into the Illuminati, and Mortal's talking to him, and Steven's just rambling on, and then the shield, Captain America's shield. I'm just kidding. Captain Carter's British shield, just comes smashing on the floor, on the wall, and then it goes back to her, and Mortal announces her, Captain Carter, the first Avenger. And I was like, oh shit, because obviously they had her show in What If. She was the very first episode, so it made sense. And I believe she was also teased too in one of the posters. So yes, she was one member. The next member was Black Bolt, leader of the Inhumans, which is played by the same actor from that very show, The Inhumans, which was horrible. I never saw it personally, but I just know a lot of people, especially the critics, did not love that movie. Or that show. So Black Bolt with the returning actor, he's back. And then the next one is Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's best friend from her own movie. So she's Captain Marvel in this universe for the Illuminati. And yeah, I was like, hell yeah, love the costume. She's badass. Obviously, we saw a glimpse who everyone, including me for a little bit, thought it was Tom Cruise in the TV spots and trailers that they showed, that figure going up and blasting Wanda. Yeah, I thought it was Tom Cruise, sadly. But, this was just as good, I'm not going to lie. And then the last one, which was badass. I didn't expect the whole crowd to lose their mind because, as I mentioned, all these other characters, all these actors have played these characters in other projects, but this one was the first one that was a new actor playing a new character in the MCU version. And he was like, Mortal was like, the smartest man alive from the Fantastic Four. And then like a little portal opens up, and it is John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. Man, I lost it. A bunch of people in my theater lost it. And I went to see it twice on the same day. I went at 3 and I went at 6:15. And my God, like, they basically got a standing ovation. I mean, everyone clapped for all the other characters, but for some reason, like I said, John Krasinski, Jim, as Mr. Fantastic, yeah, people clapped, people lost their minds, people were like, yeah, woo, including me. Doctor Strange is telling them that Wanda is after them, the Scarlet Witch is after them, but they're not buying it. They say that that witch is no problem to her. There's no problem to them, sorry. That the greatest enemy they ever face is Doctor Strange. And that's when you get the shot from the trailer when a person says, we should tell him the truth. Professor X, Charles Xavier, Sir Patrick Stewart is back as Professor X. And he just looks great as ever. And he's in his floating wheelchair from the 90s cartoon show. Like, it was just a beautiful sight. Everyone lost it right then and there too. Obviously greater than Mr. Fantastic, but it was a pretty big ovation. And like I said, he looked great. And yeah, he basically explains to them what happened. Doctor Strange caused an insurgent, where like he bends two universes together and ends up destroying that universe. And so they have a little flashback where they're on Titan and the Illuminati actually killed Thanos. There's a quick shot where the camera's up in the air and it's zooming in on like the Illuminati and Doctor Strange. Quick shot of Thanos right over on the right side with like a blade, struck right in his chest. And he's dead, laying on the ground with the Infinity Gauntlet right there shown. Like, it's so badass that they did that they worked on it together. And yes, he's right there. There's basically sentencing him to death because of what he did. He caused that incursion. And so it's actually a pretty neat scene where Black Bolt is the one who kills them. And he approaches him and he says, I'm sorry. And like the sound effect of that, he says, I'm sorry. And then his sonic boom voice or whatever, it just screeches, and even to the theater, like it was like, oh shit, you know, like we felt it, the theater felt it. It was pretty cool. The sound effect person on that, well, on this whole movie, but like that particularly because that is Black Bolt's a superpower, like that was badass how that happened. And yeah, Doctor Strange in that universe was disintegrated to ashes. And all this is happening as Wanda's trying to dreamwalk. She takes control over the Wanda that's in the universe where Steven is at right now. And she does it in a really creepy way. Like the Wanda in the other universe, she feels something. She's walking towards the sink, and like the lights are flickering, like something's going on, you know. And it's crazy too. And I love this little moment where she walks past like a picture of her in a frame, and that picture, like inside, it just turns around and faces her. I was like, wow, like that was creepy as hell. And so she gets to the sink, and like she kind of feels like possession taking over, and then she looks up, and then Scarlet Witch is just right there in the mirror reflection, and boom, she's basically turned. Just a little moment because the kids actually call her over and they sing her a beautiful song. You know, it was so cute. You know, the kids want ice cream, and yeah, it was a cute moment. But back in real time, one of Wong's workers right there from the sacred grounds, she gets up and she says she's gonna go destroy the Darkhold, and so she does it. And as she destroys it, she basically destroys herself too. And so, you know, Wanda loses it because she was right now face to face with her kids, and boom, it's gone like that. And so she tricks Wanda. He leads her to, I forgot the name of it. It's like Mount something, Mount Wondercore, something like that. And right there, he says that they have like the pages written all over the walls. And so the book, the Darkhold that she had now, was just a copy. So then they head over to the Mount Wondercore, whatever it is. I'll just say the mountain. They see a throne, like this is for the Scarlet Witch. So she's able to regather the other the other Wanda from the other universe. She's able to complete the dream walk, and that Wanda goes to the Illuminati. And so we catch up back with the Illuminati and Steven, and then the alarm goes off. And so obviously Wanda has broken in. And oh shit, it's gonna go down. As the Illuminati spring into action, there's a little moment where Professor X tells Steven that he basically trusts him with the Book of Ashanti, because the other Steven, they had to kill him because he couldn't be trusted. You know, he betrayed them. So this Professor X is telling this Stephen Strange that he trusts him, and he says this amazing line that I'm pretty sure it's from Days of Future Past. Just because someone loses their way doesn't mean they're gone forever. I'm pretty sure that's the line he gives. If I'm mistaken, I'm sorry. Please leave it in the comments what he actually told them. It gave me chills when he said that, because I'm like, that's a callback right there. And so Wanda breaking in, and there's like Ultron bots. Well, we've seen these bots in the trailer, and we presume that they're Ultron just because of their looks. But as they're like running off to go fight Wanda, they actually say Ultron, Ultron. So it's pretty crazy. It's pretty fascinating that it seems like Mr. Fantastic created these bots, these Ultron bots here, because obviously they're in his mansion or his the Baxter building, and yeah, they're Ultron bot servants. So it's really fascinating to think about that, because obviously Iron Man created Ultron, and yeah, Ultron was so bad and Ultron was defeated. So in this universe, it seems like Mr. Fantastic created Ultron. But anyways, Wanda defeats all the Ultron bots, and she looks like she has blood covered all over, but I'm presuming it's, you know, oil from all the bots. And they have a standoff, the Illuminati versus Wanda. You know, Reed is telling her to calm down, everything's gonna be okay. We're talking about her kids, and then Wanda's Wanda tells Mr. Fantastic, like, is her mother still alive? And he said yes. And she's like, good. So someone's there to take care of the kids. I was like, oh, she means business right now. And then for being the smartest man in the universe or the world, he basically tells Wanda how to kill Black Bolt. He turns to Black Bolt and he's like, Wanda, Black Bolt can kill you with the sound of his voice or from the sound of his mouth. And then she goes like, what mouth? And then the camera's already in his face, and then it pans out, and then he has no mouth. He's like, "Rah, rah." And obviously he has a sonic boom. When he opens up his mouth, he can, destroy a world. He obviously killed Doctor Strange in this universe by opening his mouth and saying, I'm sorry. So he's freaking out, and then he opens his mouth as his mouth is closed, and then boom, pop goes his brain. It was so intense. And then Mr. Fantastic's like, it's crazy because we got to see everyone's power set, everyone's skill set, but we didn't get to see anything of Mr. Fantastic. That's what sucks. That's what I don't like. The only thing that we got to see of him was like when they all approached Wanda, like they're all having like the superhero landing, and he comes like in his rubbery self. That's how he lands. But then so after Black Bolt dies, he just unleashes his hand, and we see it, stretching. But then Wanda grabs him, lifts him, and starts tearing apart his stretchiness, his rubberiness, and just, everything is unraveling until it gets to his head, and pop, just pop goes his head. His brain blows up. I thought Black Bolt's brain or head should have exploded because obviously his power set with his voice is so damn powerful that it killed Doctor Strange, that it could destroy a world. For him to do it inside, with his mouth closed, I thought that should have made his head completely blow up, but no, it didn't. It's just like a little pop, a little dent up in the skull. But no, man, they did my boy Jim dirty. Like, I was truly sad that they killed Jim. I mean, I understand it's for the greater good. No, I'm just kidding. I understand that, it's a multiverse movie. Obviously, these characters will be back in a new shape and form. It's just, obviously, I'm a big Jim fan. John Krasinski. I spend my time watching Office daily, nonstop. And so I grew to love that actor, the character. And I'm aware of Mr. Fantastic. Those movies aren't as bad as everyone makes it seem to be, but they're like guilty pleasures of mine. And so I've already seen the character, even if there were different actors, I already seen the iterations brought to life. So yeah, when they killed him, I'm not gonna lie, I was sad. I was completely shocked, to say the least. But then Captain Carter and Miss Marvel spring into action. At one point, she throws the shield at Wanda, and then Wanda uses her magic and throws it back at her and slices her in half. And then when the shield lands on the wall, you see like the blood coming out. It's like completely crazy. Like, they're showing way too much. It's not way too much. I mean, in a good thing. Like, it's so graphic. It's so brutal. I love it. This is the Marvel I want to see. And so Miss Marvel comes out, and then she goes toe to toe with Wanda. And I thought that was a badass scene too. I mean, we seen a little piece of it from the trailer, but watching it play out in the movie was really cool. Like I said, the visuals of this movie were just top notch. And then Wanda does what she did to Thanos in Endgame. She starts stripping Miss Marvel from her armor on her face, and then she does that same uppercut. And so that same uppercut like sends Miss Marvel flying high up and then lands on the floor. Wanda is also pushed back by the blast, but then she's able to regather herself, and then she grabs the statue, obviously using her magic, and she brings it down, and the statue just falls flat on Miss Marvel, and then her hand just goes like she did. It's crazy, man. I was so shocked that they did it. But see, I'm okay with it being that fast because the writers set it up to be fast. Because like I mentioned earlier, the Illuminati didn't see Wanda as a threat. They easily mentioned that they can take care of her like nothing. Reed said that their biggest fear was actually Doctor Strange, and Miss Marvel was the one that said that they can take care of the little witch like nothing. And so that was just a setup about what was to come, you know, their deaths in a quickly manner. It was truly awesome. It was truly gruesome. It was brutal. It was violent. And like I said, I loved every bit of it. So Wanda defeats them and she approaches America Chavez locked up in that cage, but not before Professor X comes to the rescue. It was a pretty badass scene too. He just says like, wait or stop. And then he does his little, you know, his little mind powers. And it's pretty cool that we can see the visuals right there, from the comic books. We see the little circles like from his mind. And so he's able to take control of both Wandas. You see a little glimpse of Scarlet Witch and then Wanda. Everything is white. You see just a door, and then he opens up the door, walks through, and he sees nothing but rubble. And then there's a TV on it, and on that TV, WandaVision is playing. So that's a really nice Easter egg, a little nice reference callback to that. And the rubble, as I mentioned, I believe it's the rubble that was shown in WandaVision as well, taking her back to where her and Pietro were stuck in the rubble. Because as we approach the rubble and Wanda actually comes out, the one that's being possessed, and then you hear like the alarm going off in the background. Obviously that alarm is like because they were under war, and Xavier sees her and he's like, you know, Wanda, you're being possessed by the Scarlet Witch. You know, give me your hand. Let me try to pull you out. And then she kind of tries to, but then there's like the red cloud is just slowly catching up to Professor X. And then the score is going on, but then it just completely stops. And then Wanda, you know, like dives under. And then we just get a closer look of Professor X. And then out of nowhere, the Scarlet Witch, but she looks more demonized. She comes out of nowhere and just snaps his neck hella fast. Like, and then he dies in real life too. And it's like, ugh, gives me chills because she looked like a demon. You know, it happened so damn fast. And yeah, I mean, Professor X died for the third time. Why do they keep killing my boy like that? But obviously, it's okay to bring back these characters and do something like that, like kill them off, because, you know, this is a multiverse. These are different variants from the ones that we know and love. But it's so sucks to see him die. But Professor X didn't die for nothing. What he did was actually buy America Chavez and Christine Palmer some time. Christine actually took out America Chavez from her cell. And in the meantime, or prior to that, Mordo and Doctor Strange actually fought. And it was funny too, because how Doctor Strange baited Mordo. He was basically telling him, you know what, you probably gave me the other Doctor Strange the Darkhold. I'm sure you were happy because now you got to be the Sorcerer Supreme. And so that kind of ticked him off. And instead of being patient and waiting for the Illuminati to return, even though they all died, he was like, I can't take this no more, you know? So he attacked Steven, and it was actually a pretty cool fight. Steven actually ends up beating Mordo, and then he catches up with Christine and America. They're looking for the pathway because the other Doctor Strange had a pathway leading to the Book of Ashanti, which I haven't even said yet, but the Book of Ashanti is the book that lets the Doctor Stranges beat whatever enemy is after them in any way. So basically, it's, you know, a power-up for sure that can defeat the Scarlet Witch. Wanda's catching up to them, and it's crazy too, because how like they're running pretty slow, and Wanda's just like like she's, you know, basically running / walking like a zombie. And so it was kind of funny too how like when one door locked, Steven and Doctor Strange, I know I keep switching back and forth, but it is what it is. Doctor Strange and Christine and America Chavez, they just waited for Wanda. It blocked Wanda out, and then for some reason, like I said, they stop, they turn around, and Steven's just looking at the door. And I love the little things that Sam Raimi does. Yeah, it was not logical for them to stop running, but they did it. Then it was cool how like time stood still. All you could hear from the sound was just the water drops. Wanda appears on the other side where they're at, and so that was a jump scare. And so And so they basically find the door, and Steven like floods Wanda, which buys him some time. And they find the door to the Book of Ashanti in the same area from the beginning of the movie where the Defender Strange and America Chavez were at when they were being chased by that toilet paper monster, the one that kills Defender Strange. And so they're there. Doctor Strange gets the Book of Ashanti, but Wanda stops them. She gets America Chavez. She throws Doctor Strange and Christine out into another universe, and then that Wanda throws America into the main universe where Scarlet Witch is at, and then that was basically the end of the dream walk for that Wanda. Doctor Strange and Christine are sent to another universe where the two universes collided, causing the insurgent or incursion, one of those terms. They're like, well, there might be another Stephen Strange here. And so they find the sanctum, and they actually come across another Stephen Strange. And at that same time, back at the mountain where Scarlet Witch is at, she starts preparing America Chavez to steal her powers. And Wong asked the question, why do you need her powers if that's just gonna kill America? What Scarlet Witch said is, if her kids get sick, then she can find a cure. There are endless possibilities, solutions to any problem. We're back with Doctor Strange and Christine. We find a bad version of him, and that version is actually holding the Darkhold, and he has a third eye. Creepy, I know. And so I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it could be cheesy as hell, but I think it was visually stunning. It was very creative how they did that fight scene. It was basically a piano note, keynotes, and by music, you know. Doctor Strange like landed on the piano, and then all the the piano notes, the papers, all were flying in the air, and he took all the notes from the papers and he just started throwing them at the evil Strange, and the other Strange got the, like I said, I'm not too familiar with the terms, but it was like the wires where the notes go on. So he got that and he threw it back. And I thought it was cool. Like I said, I can see how people would not like it or and say it's cheesy, but I found it creative. Doctor Strange ends up beating that universe's Doctor Strange. He falls to his death basically. Christine comes in, and Doctor Strange tells her that he's gonna dream walk. And so she's like, don't you need a body, a living body to be able to do that? And he's like, who said they have to be living or whatever? And then we cut back from, I didn't mention this earlier too, but when Gargantos, the one-eyed squid monster, was attacking Chavez, right after they defeat it, to make sure that America's telling the truth and she's not lying, she shows them his body, and Doctor Strange buried him. Yeah, so now as he's dream walking, he dream walks to that body in that time. That body was actually pretty cool how it worked, because he was a zombie. So it had all the perfect mechanics like a zombie would. And I thought that was badass, I'm not gonna lie. Now our Doctor Strange tells Christine to watch his back because the souls of the damned are gonna come out. Because he's not supposed to take over a dead body. And so the souls of the damned, they come out of his eye, and then they also come out with the zombie Strange. But Christine's able to beat them from our real time, and then Zombie Strange is able to manifest the souls of them into like his personal weapons. And so he uses them to fly over to the mountain, and he puts up a good fight against the Scarlet Witch, releases the souls of the damned on her, and then Wong's able to contain her for a brief moment. And then America, she understands if he wants to manifest her power because she's too dangerous. But he's telling her, no, you can do this. You can't control your powers, because everywhere they've gone, it's exactly where they needed to go. America Chavez is actually able to break out, and she's not afraid no more. And she opens up a portal, and it's a portal to the other Wanda that Scarlet Witch possessed. And so that Wanda happens to be with her children at the moment, and and then Wanda sees her children. She's like, "Boys, come here!" And the boys start freaking out. It's like, and they're like screaming, "Mom, the witch is here!" Whatever. And like they're throwing stuff at her, and so she's getting mad because like, no, like, what are you guys doing? Come. But she's getting mad. The other Wanda tries to protect them, but then Scarlet Witch throws her. It was just a truly sad moment because Scarlet Witch realizes that she's been wrong this whole time, that she's been a monster. She went about this the wrong way. She's hurt countless people throughout this journey of trying to find them. She's, like I said, she's become a monster, and she realizes this, and she just gets on her knees, and the other Wanda gets up, and she approaches her, and she just puts her hand on her face, and it's also a shot from the trailers too. It's just a beautiful moment. She gets up, and Wanda just tells Scarlet Witch that know that they'll be loved. And that was basically it. That was her acceptance of what she's become and what she has to do. And so America closes the portal. Scarlet Witch, she destroys all the Darkholds, and then she lifts up that building, the mountain thing, and then she drops it on herself and she kills herself. Elizabeth Olsen signed an extension. I want to say it was probably like 7 years from the reports. So, and I believe they are gonna have a solo project too. So I don't think she's dead. She very well could be, but the Wanda will come back if it's of another variant, or if it's ours, the main one that died. Either way, she'll be back. And hopefully when she comes back, she's obviously a better person. She's back on our side because she's gonna be used. She's going to be needed against threats like Kang the Conqueror, who is coming too in this next phase. America Chavez is back at Kamar-Taj, the sacred grounds place. And she's there along with Wong and Doctor Strange and the many others. They're all practicing. Doctor Strange is saying his goodbyes. Wong asks him a question if he's feeling all right, because obviously he had the power of the Darkhold inside him. And he's like, no, yeah, I'm fine. And he has a little moment-to-moment with America Chavez, her telling him thank you. And then he opens up a portal, and then it goes home. The end scene of the main movie, he's walking out, and then he starts freaking out. He starts screaming at the top of his lungs. And then the camera pans out and pans in right on his face. And then, boom, we got the third eye popping up. And that's it. So that's pretty crazy. That is the end of the movie. And before we get to the post-credit scenes, yeah, like I said I don't know how many times I'm gonna reiterate this, but I absolutely love this movie. It was really creative. It was artistic. The sound editing, the color palette, the color schemes, everything just popped. The visuals, like the acting, especially from Scarlet Witch, from Elizabeth Olsen, like, just a lot went well for me. It was truly a different side of Marvel. This is truly a different take on their quote-unquote formula. And yeah, they let Sam Raimi do his thing, and I feel it succeeded. I don't understand how it has like a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, because like I mentioned, this is a simple story. It's really simple. Wanda is after America Chavez because she wants her powers to get her kids. That is basically the story. And obviously, Doctor Strange is trying to protect her. But it's really that simple. I loved it, and I know many other people loved it. And this is a new take, a new film, a new take from the original formula. And yeah, I'll probably watch this a couple more times. I'm definitely going to see it in 3D though, because as I said, the visuals and everything, I feel like it's truly meant to be seen in 3D. So I will check that out in 3D. But yeah, let's get into the post-credit scenes. The first one was a mid-credit scene where Doctor Strange is walking fine, which is kind of weird because obviously we ended with Doctor Strange screaming at the top of his lungs with the third eye. But mid-credit scene, he's just taking a stroll. He's just walking fine, like nothing happened. And then you just hear a voice saying, "Doctor Strange, like, you caused an incursion, we gotta go fix this. And the camera had already panned out to this character who's wearing all purple, and she's blonde, and it is Charlize Theron. You know, amazing actress. I'm sure everyone has heard of Charlize Theron, but Charlize Theron is playing Clea. Now, I don't know too much about the character Clea. What I briefly read was that she is actually Doctor Strange's wife in the comics, and she is the niece, I believe niece, if not, she's related to Dormammu. And so when she opened up when she sliced up the world, just so you can see the dimension, that universe looks exactly like Dormammu's universe from the first Doctor Strange. So yeah, I mean, I'm truly excited. I'm truly interested in what and what's gonna happen and where they're going and and if that is Dormammu's universe, why are they going there? You know, so that's the first post credit scenes. It's pretty cool. We have a new character introduced, and obviously Doctor Strange's story is not done yet. So, you know, I'm okay with that. The last post credit scene is a pretty funny one, and it's also to us, the fans, because we're caught back to Bruce Campbell's cameo. You know, where Doctor Strange put that spell on him for 3 weeks, and he's hitting himself. So we come back to see what he's up to, and he's still hitting himself. I think he does like 2 hits, and then the third one was like, he gets control, and he's like, ha ha ha, ha, it's over. So yeah, he's super stoked about that. He looks at the camera, and then he's like, it's over. You know, obviously it's also a metaphor to us too, because the movie's over, and that was a post-credit scene, so it's like, oh, okay, it's over for him and for us. But yeah, like, I don't really give reviews out, but if I had to, I think this movie would be a 9. And I'm only saying that safely because I really can't think of another reason of a reason why it shouldn't be a 10, if that makes sense. Because yeah, like I mentioned, I already gave you my reasons why I loved it. For everything that Sam Raimi did and the creators, just everything. But maybe because the nitpick I had said earlier too, how I wish they would have had more time in this Multiverse of Madness. You know, they basically only spend time in that one main universe where the Illuminati was at, and I feel like it wasn't enough. Like that sequence of them going through different universes was badass. You know, I truly love that scene. But like I said, for them to live up to the hype, to live up to the name, it would have been cool to see them maybe spend a little bit more time and visit maybe like just 2 more universes, 2 more other universes. And yeah, I mean, I also kind of understand too why they didn't, because as I said, this is a simple story. You know, to that fact, it just felt grounded. It was a truly simple, grounded story. But yeah, you know, I see both ways. I see it should have lived up to the name and why it didn't. But that's my only like issue with it. Some of the jokes were kind of nitpicky too. They were tryhards, but I mean, I can't really blame them on that. Like, you know, sometimes I try hard. You know, there's a bunch of people that try hard to be funny and shit. So, sorry, excuse my language, but yeah, like the jokes, you know, they were fine. So I'm gonna give it a safe 9 out of 10. It's a really great, amazing movie. I suggest everyone watches it. You are gonna have your mind blown at what this has in store for y'all. I can't wait to see where they go from here. And yeah, but the question is, guys, what did you guys think about this movie? Did you guys love it? Did you guys enjoy it? Is it meh to you? And what did you guys think about the cameos? What are you guys' thoughts on the future for Doctor Strange and or all these variants and all these universes? But whatever y'all thought, comment below and let me know. And if y'all can please leave a like and subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And thank y'all for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.